Welcome back, Rankers. I did a 1-hour webinar yesterday for smartcompany.com.au, who's one of Australia's most respected business news websites. And there were a lot of questions that came out of that webinar that we just couldn't get to in the 1 hour. So today I'm going to answer some of those questions because I think they're probably common questions that a lot of people who are trying to get ranked and trying to get involved in social media and all these other things would probably be interested in. The title of the webinar was Social Media and SEO, or Social Media and Search. I've actually called it on our blog post the symbiotic relationship of social media and search because I think it sounds quite clever. But the questions, there's 6 main questions or 6 main areas of question that came out. The first one, because we're talking about if you want to get ranked in the future, you've got to publish content. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to create a blog. My sense on blogging is that it should be done within the company. You can outsource it, but it's got to get approved within the company. Don't simply just outsource it like some companies are outsourcing their Twitter feeds and these sorts of things, and they get themselves in all sorts of trouble. But one of the questions that came up was, on our company website, should we have a group blog or individual blog? Now, look, I'm not by any shape or form a professional blogger like the likes of Darren Rouse, who is at ProBlogger, and he's answered this question many times. But from an SEO perspective, it doesn't really matter. What I would say, though, from a business marketing perspective, is you just really need an area of your site where people know that they can go to, that you'll regularly publish content about your industry. My take on it is that if you've got 4 or 5 people within the organisation that want to write, use them. And just make sure that they've all got their authorship set up and they've all got, and when someone reads that, they know it's the various individuals that happen to be writing that content. I'd be wary about doing a blog behind a brand rather than an individual, because I think otherwise it just sounds like promotion, whereas if it's coming from an individual, I think it carries more weight. What CMS was the other question, should we be using? People saying Joomla, Drupal, all these other things out there. As I've said before, Google loves WordPress, so why not just use WordPress? The next question that came from that was, should we host on WordPress.com where you can have your own blog, or have it on our own site? Or should we set up, something like subdomain.blogspot.com, host it on your own site? And even Google's shutting down some of its blogging services because it recognises that it really has to be on your own site. For the content to be found by the search engines, you want to be on a dedicated server. Don't have to be, but you don't want to be on a server with 20,000 other websites, which is what happens with some of these hosted solutions out there like Squarespace and there's a bunch of others. So I would use the WordPress CMS, host it on your own server. You can get a hosted solution for $10 a month or something. So it's not hard to find a cheap way to set up your own server. You're just going to have to invest some time, though, in either learning how to set this up yourselves or have someone within your organisation responsible for doing this. The other question that is the big one, of course, at the moment is, how is authorship set up? We didn't get to touch on it much yesterday, so I just wanted to show you here on this blog post of mine. This is you can see here that it says by Jim. That then connects to an author page, and if we go here, we can see that it goes to an author page within our site. Now, if I was the only blogger within the organisation, which I am at the moment, but I hope not to be, you probably wouldn't have an author page. You could probably just link it straight to your profile. But because we're going to have multiple authors on this site, we need to have multiple bio pages for those authors. Now, the code itself, if we just have a quick look at it, okay, you can see down here, and this is the link we're talking about here, is at the start of, or within that link itself, where it's going to the bio page, it says rel equals author. Then if we actually go to the bio page, we can see that on the bio page itself, and this is where you link it back to your Google profile, and this is the Google profile here. I'll just have a look at that code for you. And we can see here from the bio page to the Google profile page, it says rel equals me. Okay, so it's telling Google that this is me. So then if I go to the Google profile, and the question was asked also yesterday, if you don't have a Google Plus account, do you have a Google profile? Well, yeah, anybody can set up a Google profile. You don't need a Google Plus account. And then I've linked back to that bio page with the same code where it says rel equals me. And that's as hard as it gets. If you're only one blogger on one site, then you don't need the bio page. You can skip that step and just go rel equals me straight back to your Google profile. But it doesn't get any harder than that. So it's really not that complex, but it's just a way of double confirming that, yes, you wrote this copy on this site, and this site says, yes, that person over there wrote this copy. Really important. I won't get into all the whys and wherefores of authorship anymore. And finally today, the question that came up a few times yesterday, because we're talking about both social media and search, is, does Google Plus really matter? Is it really taking off? Well, you know, it got something like 25 million sign-ups within the first month, and it's still invitation only, and I'm guessing it's over 30 million by now. But, you know, don't take my word for it that I think it's significant and it's important. You just need to have a listen to, or go and have a log into Facebook this morning, because everyone's calling it It's Facebook Plus, because it's borrowed a lot of the stuff from Google Plus and the great stuff that Google Plus has been doing with circles and all these sorts of things, and who gets to see what and who doesn't get to see what. And it's incorporated into the Facebook environment. So yes, Google Plus is here to stay, and yes, it's going to be significant. So get your Google profile set up, and don't forget to go and have a look at that webinar if you have time. It is 1 hour long, but you can just find it at our SEO blog, and we'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.